Hi guys, this is Basant. In this video we are going to see what is active JDBC and how we will work using active JDBC. Active JDBC is not new technology, it introduced in 2014 itself, but now it became popular, so industry following this approach to work with any persistence API. So let's see what is active JDBC. Active JDBC is lightweight ORM and it focuses on simplifying the interaction with database by removing the extra layer of typical persistence managers and focused on the uses of SQL rather than creating a new query language. So normally using this active JDBC, it's one kind of object relational mapping, and here we no need to bother about the query, and there is no new query language we need to use here. Simply by calling a method, it will perform the persistence logic for us, and additionally it provides few features like it's provided one its own DB spec class, so that it will make easy for us to write the unit test case. You no need to depend on any Mockito API to write the persistence API for our DAO layer. Apart from that, it provides some features like here, if you mark here, it infers the DB schema parameter from a database, so that we no need to mapping entities. Suppose I have one person entity and I want to persist it in database, and I want to do some persistence logic. So in that case, in case of Hibernate, we need to annotate lot of annotation like entity, table, ID and all. So similarly, in case of JDBC also, we need to create the database, and in logic side, in server logic side, we need to create the connection, and we need to write the prepare statement logic, and then we need to manually close the connection. Like resource management is required in plain our Hibernate and in JDBC. So here it's by default provided by active JDBC itself. This API itself provided by Java Lite, one third party API, and there no session management, no DB component management, nothing we need to do here. And even there is the more advantages. Suppose person, I am taking one person entity with 4 5 fields, then we no need to declare the attribute, all variable like ID, name, last name, those things we no need to declare in our model class. And as I already mentioned, it's provided the DB spec database, so it will make easy for us to write the unit test case. So this is the features provided by the active JDBC, and it make our work more easy. So let's see how we can do a small application using this active JDBC. So before that, we need to add some dependency provided by Java Lite. So let's do one small POC on this active JDBC, so that we will get the clear cut idea how like it reduces the more boilerplate code and the more logic. So now let's create one small project, and we will do the CRUD operation using active JDBC. So let's create a Spring Boot application. You can do it using any standalone application as well, but here I am preferring to using Spring Boot. Change the package, then add the required dependency. I am using MySQL and we need only web. Lombok also we need. Anything else? So as I already have one database with name person, so I am not creating table and all manually. So for this person we will do the database logic using active JDBC. So let's see the what are the fields, what are the columns it have. It contains three column: ID, first name, last name. Okay, so these three attribute we no need to write as a variable in our model class. Let's see. Okay, now let's, as I mentioned, let's add this active JDBC dependency and this instrumentation plugin. Let's add those things. I have those plugin and a dependency. I'm using two version 2 of active JDBC. This is the latest one, and let's add the plugin as well. Okay, there is some issue. Then let's go to window preference. There would be one Maven error warning. Let's make it ignore so that we'll not get any error warning. Okay, this instrumentation plugin we are adding because we need to perform the DB operation without using any query. So this instrumentation will provide the static method through which we can persist data to database and we can delete the data. So like this this instrument plugin will help us. Like normally to fetch a record from database with any field condition, we need to write select star from that table and where field equal to runtime value. Similar way here, as we added instrumentation will provide this where method, and if you want to perform some order, ascending or descending order, there for that also dot order method is there. So these are the static method. This predefined method we will get once we will add the instrumentation plugin. Okay, so after add this plugin we need to we need to run this one command to build Maven build. You can run any of one from these two, so better to run this one so that all the predefined uh, utility method will be available in our application. Let's run it. Let's debug the output. There is some issue. Once again, else we can run this one. Okay, where we need to point it to JDK. Let's point to JDK it. Okay, point to JDK. Okay, now run again. It's showing start instrumentation, end instrumentation. So now all the utility method will be available in our application. So let's create the model class. Create a model package. As I have already one table with called name called person, so I am creating model here person. Okay, and we need to extend this model class from active JDBC provided model. If you mark this package, it's come from the Javalite active JDBC model. Now in model class we will get all the static method like where, let's check direct. Like let's check in this way. This is the where, find all. These are the predefined method provided by model class. So as our person model extends from active JDBC provided model, so that we can achieve all the predefined method, as person is the subclass of this model. So we have the model. Then next step, we need to connect our database. So as this is the web application, in any method I don't want to open my connection and close my connection. I want to make it like a pre-processing logic. Once my application will start, it automatically open the connection, and once my application will be my execution done, I want to close the connection. So that instead of write in our service, better we should write it in any filter or listener level, so that it will be, the process will be execute before our application up. So let's create a filter. Let's implement it from filter. Okay, override the method. Write some statement to see this one will execute fast before my application up. Okay, let's create here. Here there is, if you come to this blog, I already explained in blog, two way we can create the database connection. One using base, another one using DB. Whenever we are using one single table, single database, we should go for base to create the connection in active JDBC. If I am working on multiple database, then we should go for the DB. And new DB default, there we need to pass the username, password and all the required fields. So as here I am going to work using one database, so I am using base. There is a simple method in base like base dot open, means it will open the connection. Here you need to pass the driver class name, URL, username and password. Similar way, base dot close, it will close the connection. Like similar, base dot commit transaction. This is the predefined method provided by base. So I have this open connection and close connection logic. So let's copy paste that. Okay, so let's add on logo statement so that we'll check the time, execution time. Of application filter dot class. Okay, so here I open my connection providing my driver class name, this is my URL, this is my username and password, and open the transaction and execute the logic. Once logic executes success, then commit that transaction. If there is any exception and failure, I am doing the rollback that transaction. Okay, so now we created the model and connected with a database. Now let's write one controller. You need to copy paste this. Okay, in controller, and create one more package that is called service. We are not going to write here any DTO, sorry, no, any DAO, repository layer. Let's write the service. And create one DTO which will send as part of JSON. I am naming it as input request. Okay, declare the fields which we need to pass to save the data in database. As we have in database, if you mark, we have 3 column: first name, last name and ID. So let's write those 3 field. we added Lombok, so I am adding getter setter from Lombok. Even add the all arg constructor and no argument constructor. Okay, and in a model class I want to mention my table name, that is person. Okay, now let's write the logic in controller. Before that, write the logic in service so that from controller we can invoke our service. Person service annotate @service, write a method to insert record in database. Okay, insert, and pass the input request which you will get from as part of JSON format, that will pass in request body. Okay, so here we want to save the person object. Then set value 1 by 1. This is the predefined method provided by active JDBC. String set string attribute name object value. Attribute name is nothing, the column name, and object value which is you are getting in runtime. So my first attribute name is ID, and we are getting this from input. Okay, similar way set all other two value. Second field is first name, and the value we are getting from input request. Okay, similar way for last name as well we need to write, and value is request dot get last name. Okay, now we need to save that person dot insert is there. Even you can write the save method is there, so I am using here insert. So let's return some value so that we can get to know that data persists successfully. Okay, so let's write one more method to get a person object based on a field. Based on first name or last name, let's check the field. I am returning here list of person, cause based on any first name there may be a chance we can find the multiple records. Okay, let's return. Here you need to write the subquery. Subquery in the sense, let's give a input parameter last name. Okay, so here you need to write last name equal to question mark, and this should be the runtime parameter. Okay, it will return the list of person record. So let's write the method in controller for these two first, then later we will write for the delete. Annotate at the rest controller. Here let's, instead of return, let's print it. Okay, now let's write inject the service in controller using auto add, write a method. Okay, give the input request. We need to add this as at the request body. Okay, this is the post method. As we are going to save, annotate post mapping, save person. Okay, then return from service. Service dot insert. Okay, similarly write the method for get mapping. Based on last name, it will give the list of person available in database. Import the util and model. Now annotate here get mapping, pass the, write the URL like get person and pass the input parameter, that is last name. Okay, annotate at the path variable, then return from service. Okay, now let's start the application. Okay, it mapped our two save person and get person by name. So let's do this one first, and it's run on port 8080. So try http localhost 8080, and this is our save person URL. This method is post method and body media type is JSON. So application slash JSON. Here pass the input. We have first field is ID. Let's 908. Second is our first name. Let's write it like Peter. Then last name like John. Okay, this is the let's hit the URL. Yes, record inserted true. So let's check in database whether record is inserted or not. Yes, we have two record. Previously we have one, and recently we added this 908 Peter John. Okay, so now let's test the second URL, get person by last name. Last name what we added, John. Okay, and this method type is get. So let's try now. Yes, it's giving record, but as we are return direct our model and we don't have any getter, so this response is provided by the model itself, Java Lite model. So this is the ID, and this is only it's giving the ID and the foreign key and the composite key, all those things. That's why I printed. So we can check here. This is the response. First name Peter, ID 908, last name John. Okay, so this is the post get. Let's write one delete method. What is that? In service. We'll stop the server first. Let's delete by first name. Okay, return person dot delete. What is our input parameter? First name. Okay, so first name equal to question mark and pass the input as first name. Okay, what it will return? Okay, it will return integer. Okay, int number. Let's return some string value, number, deleted. Okay, similar way write. This is for one person will get based on condition. If you want to fetch all the record, then write this, copy paste this method name, get persons, directly return person dot find all. Okay, it will return the all the records. Similarly, if you want to delete all the record, then write public string delete all. Okay, return person dot delete all. Okay, it also return the string, so return directly deleted. Okay, now call these three methods from controller. One is for delete, another one is for get all, another one is for delete all. Okay, so let's write get all first. Get persons directly return from service. Okay, annotate get mapping. Okay, remove this parameter, make it get persons. Then write for delete let's name it delete one with input first name. Okay, then return service dot delete. Okay, and this should be the path variable annotation, and write delete mapping. Okay, and delete person. Write one more for delete all. Public delete all, return from service. Okay, and annotate here at the rate delete mapping. Delete all. Okay, now let's test these three methods. Similarly, if you want to do update, so for that first you need to get the object based on a field, input field, then same object you need to modify like this. Like we to get a single record we used where, so similar way there you can use find first, and once you will get that object, then which field you want to update that, then call the same method or insert method. Okay, so we didn't write update logic here, so let's test these three first. One is get person, another is delete person, and here you need to pass the input parameter, that is first name. Okay, now everything fine. Okay, let's start the application. Okay, now check the URL. Get persons, we have only two records, so let's see what it returning. Okay, it's returned two objects, one and a second one with one field 908, that is the Peter, another one is 199, that is the Rakesh. Okay, we have two record. Let's delete one based on first name. Okay, let's delete this second one. Change the method type to delete. Here type delete slash. Okay, I think URL is something, sorry, delete person, that one. Let's try. Yes, one record deleted. Let's check in database. One record deleted, now only we have one record. Okay, let's add that record again so that we can check the delete all. Okay, record inserted. Let's check again. Yes, then now call the delete all. What is that URL? Let's hit this. This is the delete, and we don't have any body. Okay, remove this one slash. Deleted two record. Okay, as we have two record in database, so it deleted two record. Now refresh the database. Okay, it deleted all the record. If you mark in a normal Spring JDBC or plain JDBC, in plain JDBC you need to use the result set to get the record, list of record, or a single record based on a particular field. You need to face like result set dot get string based on the data type. Similar in case of JDBC template or Spring JDBC, you need to use the row mapper, and the row mapper will iterate the number of row available in your database, or you can use the result set extractor. Here if you mark in this active JDBC approach, we need to call only find all or where clause. Like this it will be, we can perform using the single line of code, and there will be no more iteration, so it will give the better performance. Let's check. Open implementation. This is the find all method. It will return the list of person. In normal approach in Spring JDBC, we should iterate the row mapper by passing the generic model. Similar way, in this case, you need to write the query for object method, and you need to pass the input. Whenever here it is more easy, you can use where or you can use the find first. Okay, so this is the way we can work using active JDBC. So if you have any doubt or anything, you can check my blog which I added 2 days back. So completely crowd operation I mentioned here. Even you can use the pagination using the offset and limit. Here I want to fetch only 10 record, so I give the offset 0 and limit 10. So these are the few features, and lot of features also there we can perform, cause as we make it instrument, so all the static method we get in our application like find all, where, find fast, these are the static method present in model class. So that's it about this particular video. If anyone have doubt or concern, you can add a comment below, and thanks for watching this video.